We begin, though, with this, the frustration and fear from local officials across the country after a packed 4th of July weekend and surging cases of the coronavirus, and surging is a word. While some Americans observed social distancing, many others did not, including at beaches and water parks. At this popular party spot in Michigan, nobody in this crowd seemed to be wearing a mask.
No, I don't see many. In Florida, there are long lines at testing sites. The state topped 11,000 cases in a single day Friday, with more big numbers over the weekend. The surge coming after Governor Ron DeSantis repeatedly downplayed the threat. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, is in Miami Beach for us. David, good morning. How is the governor responding now?
Best we can tell, he's not responding. Now, it has been a holiday weekend, but he hasn't made any public statements. Look, the governor in the past has been very combative, suggesting the media get some kind of joy. Those were his words when the numbers spike. But that is not the case, as you obviously know from the media. This morning, as we stand in front of this line, some people have been here since 4:30 this morning. We were on Miami Beach over the weekend. It was very quiet. The local officials decided to shut down the beaches. The governor said he wasn't closing anything down, so the locals said, we will do it. Here's how things look around the rest of the country.
You guys are amazing out there.
July 4th celebrations look pretty normal in certain parts of the country, despite the increased spread of the coronavirus and calls for social distancing. People partied on the Minnetonka Lake in Minnesota and packed onto beaches across San Diego.
Humans aren't supposed to be locked up for forever. It's a weekend to celebrate, so here we are.
In Miami, beaches were closed as the state doubled its infection in just 2 weeks. Florida now has 200,000 confirmed cases and more than 3,700 deaths. Another state seeing a spike in cases is Arizona. The mayor of Phoenix, Kate Gallego, says the state opened way too early.
We were one of the last states to go to stay at home and one of the first to reemerge, and we reemerged at 0 to 60.
Now, hospital bed use in Arizona is at an all-time high. Over in Texas, the medical center's Phase 1 intensive care capacity is at 98%. Austin Mayor Stephen Adler says there may not be enough medical personnel to keep up with the spike in cases.
Our trajectory is rising geometrically, and it's scary right now, how quickly we're going to overwhelm our hospitals.
Be careful.
88-year-old Marie Smith tested positive for the coronavirus while visiting her daughter Andrea in Arlington, Texas.
Miss Smith, you beat the odds.
Yeah, I did. It's a blessing.
Mrs. Smith spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital, but she is now recovering.
I'm glad to be home with my children.
7 people in the family tested positive, including her son Louis.
No one wound up in the ICU, and we're fortunate and we're blessed that we have really good access to health care.
She is doing exceptionally well. And we count it all as a blessing and a testimony that what happens when a family circles around another family member and prays together.
You know, Andrea got tested in Texas. Her brother Louis got tested in New York City, and their stories were so different, and they found it so interesting. Louis got his test results back almost right away. And the city of New York called him to say, hey, we have a place for you to stay if you need. We have food. We have mental health counseling. And they called him almost every day to check on him. Andrea says it took 8 days for her to get her results back. And they never called to offer her anything or really to check up on her. 2 different stories, Vlad, in 2 different states.
Troubling indeed, David. And what makes it harder in Florida is it's hard to trace some of those partygoers because Florida doesn't make public information about clusters. David, thank you very much.